Hello and welcome to my guide to the Undercourse, featuring my Melee Cleric. My name is Alicor and I will be showing you footage from some of my earliest clears of the Undercourse today while going over pulls, mechanics, and things of that nature. This guide will talk about general mechanics and may reference cleric-specific tactics occasionally, but the information will typically be class agnostic. Hopefully, by the end of this video, you'll know everything you need to know to start farming this place without fear of losing your precious dungeon keys. Now let's begin. The Undercourse is the next solo dungeon after the barracks. You will want to be somewhere around 5,000 combat rating or so before stepping foot in here, though it's definitely possible to do it earlier. The Undercourse is located in the northwest corner of the map in Hillsfar Dale, just beyond the Zendale mobs. In order to enter, you will need an Undercourse key. To get this, you must take the depleted keys you get from defeating the final boss of the barracks and combine it with a Dale gem, which can be acquired from the Zendale mobs at a drop rate of 15% at the time of this video. Right-click on the Dale gem, then click on the depleted key, and you will create an Undercourse key. Once you have your key, you can enter the Undercourse. The keys are consumed on use, and if you die inside the dungeon, you will lose your opportunity to clear that instance and will need to use another key to enter a new one. Inside the Undercourse, you will find yourself faced with a few different types of mobs before reaching the final boss. Undead horrors often come in pairs and will use basic attacks and apply hamstring, rend, and infected wound debuffs. Hamstring simply reduces your movement speed. Rend is a bleed debuff that causes physical damage over time. Infected wound is a disease that reduces your attributes by 2%. These can all be applied from each mob attacking you, so if you have 2 undead horrors on you, it's possible to have 2 rends and 2 infected wounds on you at a time. As a cleric, I recommend using your fear on cooldown against the double pulls to help you focus one down while minimizing your damage taken. Make sure you pull them back slightly so they don't wander away and chain pull while feared though. Dishonored sorcerers act as a sort of mini-boss in the dungeon, and you will encounter 2 of them here, each of them paired with an undead horror. They're pretty much the same as Sarlach the Betrayer from the Barracks dungeon. They periodically cast Lesser Heal and will usually follow it up with a Greater Flame. Their Greater Flame hits harder than Sarlach's, so ensure you stop the cast every time. Focus the Sorcerer and fear or tank the Undead Horror so you can focus on interrupting Greater Flame. Kandorys Centurions are Minotaurs that come as a pair and will basic attack, charge, and apply Rend and Hamstring. Rend and Hamstring are the same as before, and Charge will stun you for a moment if they use it on you. As a Melee Cleric, I tend to run right in between them and body pull them to avoid them charging me immediately at the start of the fight. Aside from that, these mobs were easier for me to deal with than the Undead Horror duos. Focus one down at a time and you'll be fine. The final boss of the Undercourse is a Minotaur by the name of Knight Maximus. Before pulling him, make sure you've killed all other mobs in the dungeon. As of this video, anything left alive anywhere in the dungeon will pull when he is pulled. Maximus has a pretty large health pool relative to everything else here and can do a lot of damage with his attacks. He will basic attack, enrage himself, apply hamstring, charge, and he will use Howl of Terror. Enrage is a buff he will apply to himself periodically that increases his physical damage dealt significantly. Hamstring and charge are the same as always, but I would recommend engaging him by walking into him to avoid his charge, at least as a cleric or a paladin, because he tends to follow a charge opener by casting Howl of Terror. Howl of Terror is an AoE fear he will cast frequently that can and should be interrupted. His fear will not break when he attacks you, so you will want to ensure you're immune to it or interrupt it. Clerics have Dark Resolve, which will allow you to be immune to fear effects for the next 5 seconds on a 15-second cooldown. Use this whenever you see the cast start. If you don't have it up, use Smite, your own fear, or a Holy Bolt if you can start casting it fast enough. If you do use your fear against him, don't be afraid to let him sit the full duration while you heal up. If all else fails and you can't stop the fear, you can actually step away from him and range the fear pretty easily. If you do create distance to dodge Hollow Terror, he will almost definitely charge you after he finishes casting it, but it's better than getting feared at least. Once you've managed to defeat Maximus, be sure to loot him and get the keys to Saint Revere, which will be used to access the next solo dungeon, the Desecrated Altar. That's about it for the Undercourse. If you enjoyed the video, feel free to subscribe and like the video if you want. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Lates.